Hi there, this is Carrie Vasovic. You can find me on Instagram at Adventures in Fifth and Life. And I thought I would put together a few tutorials on how to use Google Sites to kind of house your mini lessons and student materials that are outside of Google Classroom, and using Google Classroom just as a way to collect the assignments that students are creating. So today I'm going to be going through how to get your Google Site set up and create it. This is stemming from my creation of this site that I shared within the Facebook group, a couple different Facebook groups, and got some feedback on from so many awesome teachers. Thank you if you're one of those teachers that provided me some feedback. But I am going to be teaching you today how to set this up, and I will have future tutorials on how to do this lettering and whatnot, how to add these different things in within your sites. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is get to your Google page, and you're going to click the launch pad. I also tell my students this is the waffle. And when you click it, that's going to bring up your Google Apps, and you're going to want to go right into Sites. Now when you click Sites, it's going to look like this. Here's what the old sites used to look like. So I'm going to go right here to New Google Sites. And you will see that I have a lot of them. We use Google Sites also as our student-led conferences for our student portfolios. So my students all share them with me. So I have a lot in there. You probably won't. You're going to go ahead and click a blank site. And this is going to bring up a nice blank canvas for you to use. We're going to go over just how to do our header, and in another tutorial I'll show you how to make it into that Bitmoji kind of moving header and how to set up your initial pages. So the first thing that you do right here is your site. So you might want to call your site name, your name, and whatever you teach. So I'm going to just call this Mrs. V Teaches, or Mrs. V Tutorial on Sites. You might call it, my ELA one, I said Mrs. V's ELA virtual style. You can decide what you want that to say. And then you can keep this header just here exactly how it is, or you can go over to themes, and there are different themes that you can use. Simple, Aristotle, Diplomat, Vision, Level, and Impressions, and you can see that each of those looks slightly different, and you can also within there change up coloring and font style. So I'm just going to go with impression for right now. I'm going to end up changing this after, but I'm just going to call this again Mrs. V Tutorial on Sites. You can call it whatever it is that you are naming it. Then if you want to get some information on that first page, there's all of these tools over here. There are text boxes, you can insert an image, you can embed things, and you can access things from your drive that you may have already made. So if I wanted to insert a text box, there's also options within that. You can make it a title, that'll make it bigger, heading, subheading, small, and normal text. So if I did a heading, I might say welcome to the site, or whatever you're going to do. You can see on mine, my heading says, "Hi there, this virtual style learning environment has been created to help you achieve as much success while we learn remotely as possible." And then I just gave a little blurb about how does this work and a calendar. So you can change that up. The actual Google site doesn't have as much formatting that you can play around with, so I like to insert pictures. That is how I got these images, this in here. This is actually an image, and I'll show you how I did that. So I did that right in Google Docs, so let me just move all that down. I like to use the font Lolita 1, and I'm just going to type in what I typed on mine. Hi there. Now you can see that I did different colors. That's called a gradient. And I did that using the add-on Fun Text. To get an add-on in Google, you're just going to click Get Add-ons. And this is totally extra. This is not something you have to do, but if you want to, it is right there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and change this last color. You can see I use these blues a lot, to the color I want it to fade into. Add-ons, fun text, transitioning color. All I did next was take a screenshot. So for me, I'm on a Mac, so I hit Command-Shift-4, and I'm just going to take a screenshot right there. And I am going to go ahead and just insert that. So you can see here it is, and I can just pull it right over and it inserts. You can resize it to however big you want it to be, and then you could put type underneath that. Now to add your additional pages, so on mine you can see I put the date here, and then underneath that I have reading, writing, and read aloud. So to get those, you're going to just go right over to Pages, and here's Home. I'm going to click Add Subpage, and I just put the date. So today's date, if I was working on assignments for today, actually, let's do one for next week. We'll do it for June 1st. So Monday, June 1st, 2020. And you're going to see it kind of made a little drop down here. I prefer it to be on the side. So all I'm going to do for that is go into my settings. I'm going to go into, I just had to find it, mode. It's right there, right at the beginning. And I'm going to change it to side. And that's just going to make it have those 3 lines over here. Okay, so we've got Monday, June 1st, and then I know that I want a reading page underneath that, so I'm going to go ahead and put reading, and I'm going to just put June 1st again, just so that I know that it's for that. I'm not adding the writing or the read aloud page yet, because I know I want to format these all the same. So if you kind of set up the bones of it, then you are able to then duplicate it. So here's my reading page, and then I think I pulled them, had a bunch of them out. That's okay. I'll just go back over here, and I'm just going to change this to reading. Once you find a font style that you like and a gradient that you like, it's just so easy just to change it all out. And I just pulled this over for reading. I also had done a date, so the date is for June 1st, and I believe I also had a Monday on that, so let me go ahead and change that up. Oops. And you can see I'm just kind of erasing each letter. Again, this is totally extra, but a bunch of people asked how I did this. So now I have those 2 screenshots, and again, I'm just going to pull them in. I know that I want June 1st on the top, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that over, and I want reading to be in there too. You could just do this with text boxes if you wanted to. I just prefer things to be big and bold like this. Then I know I want a mini lesson on each page. So you can see I already have mini lesson done here. So I would pull in mini lesson and wait for it to appear. And I also want a assignment. So you can see this is what it looks like when I did it. So I had mini lesson and then your assignment. I think I might have deleted where it said your assignment. I did. So I'm just going to go ahead and type it out again. And again, I just changed that first one to where I want it to start, and then wherever I want it to stop. Add-ons, fun text, transitioning. Screenshot it again. Or just insert a text box and use that. I'm just showing you exactly how I built my site. So I made it say a mini lesson and then your assignment. I also inserted a text box over here. So I just double clicked and I'm hitting text box. Watch this first. Again, you can change it to a bigger font if you would like. And that is pretty much how I want my pages to look. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate that page. And instead of reading, I'm going to make it say, oops, not all in caps, I'm going to make it say writing. So look what happens. Now it says reading here, and I don't want it to say reading anymore, so I'm going to delete that. I could either insert a text box as a heading or as a title, right, that says writing, and I could have that there. Or I can go back over here and create a writing one. This add-on only works in Google Docs. It is not a Google Slide add-on, but I love it. You can do rainbow words, you can transition. There's so many different tools that this one add-on has, and I think it's a fun way to kind of customize things within Google, since Google does not come with those customizable tools right within them. So you can see I just brought that in. I'm just going to delete this writing box. And then I have that page all set up. And the last page I did, I'm just going to duplicate this again. And it is read aloud. When it goes to it, you can see, again, there it still says writing. So I'm going to just delete that. I'm going to go ahead and pull in my read aloud, and then I will just insert that as well. Again, I'm just dragging and dropping right from my desktop into the site so that I can get all of my information in there. And then the bones are good. So then all I would do would be to get this published. And I'm just doing that so that I can see what it looks like. You can also do a preview by clicking right there, and I can see this is what they see when they come to the site. If I go to Monday, June 1st and go down to reading, I see what they see. You can also flip it so that you can see what they would see on a tablet or on a phone. This is good when you are trying to make it so that it will work for all of your students. In my next tutorial, I will go over how to insert and embed videos onto your page, and then I will have an additional video on how to get this kind of moving Bitmoji heading. I hope that this helped you learn how to get your Google site set up, and please reach out if you have any questions. You can message me right on Instagram at Adventures in Fifth and Life, and I will get right back to you. Thanks for watching.